Tonight we have Adam Peters with us. Why did I almost say Adam Peterman? That's not right. I'm mixing up candidates now.
We do have a Peterman here in the Quad Cities, so
Fabulous. Perfect. Adam Peters is here with us. Hi, Adam.
hey,
All right, so let's get to the good stuff. Tell us what inspired you to run for office?
25,000 million things, truly.
I
But
thought you were going to say $25,000 a year, and I was going to laugh so hard at that.
it ain't the money, that's for dang sure.
No.
No, I have 25 million reasons, but honestly, it just literally comes down to two words, my community. I love my community so much, and I feel so passionately about that I want to take that energy and take the step forward into the fire that is gestures broadly, our state, our country. I feel like I have new energy, new ideas, a different mindset, a different perspective, I would say. And I just want to represent my community in Des Moines as best as I can with as much energy and gusto. And yeah, it just comes back to my community. I just wrapped up 4 years as the director of operations at an LGBTQ community center. And that kind of tells you that was my work for 4 years, and I dove headfirst into it. And this past year, I've just been mm, I don't even have words for it. I mean, it's just horrifying what we're seeing across the country. It's horrifying what we continue to see in the state. And I had to ask myself, what am I doing? And I felt like now is the time to take the step forward. I've never wanted to be a candidate, but I had people kind of in my ear asking, we feel like you should run for something. And I started having conversations and thinking about it. And yeah, I just felt like the time is now. And I constantly see that I'm right because I see people like Layla. I'm inspired by people like Layla. I'm inspired by people like India May. We're seeing young people across the state step up. And honestly, I'm old enough that I have not been able to see that before. Also, this is my cat, Herbert Hoover, who is on my lap. He just was moving. So, but yeah, I'm excited, and yeah, it's a million reasons, but it comes down to my community.
Love that. That should be the reason, right? Community should be the reason. Do you have a primary opponent? Yes, you have a primary opponent, right?
I do
Okay.
I do have a primary opponent. I might have multiple. I
Okay.
filed paperwork in September of 2025. And I saw that someone else had filed paperwork 2 weeks before I did. That person has not really been doing anything. But yeah, we definitely have me. I just signed petition papers for the current incumbent to run again. I signed those at the caucus, so there definitely will be a primary. I just don't know how many candidates, and obviously we haven't turned in our signatures yet, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Awesome. So, what do you think makes you different from other Democratic candidates or from your primary opponent?
Uh, I just want to start off by saying I am not running against someone. I am running for Iowa's future. I'm putting myself up as an option. Choose your best fighter, choose who you want to represent your community, and choose someone who is going to be here for the long haul. I'm not going anywhere. Win or lose in my primary, I'm going to be knocking doors the day after the primary election for either myself or my opponent. That's just where we're at.
Yeah.
We we end up not getting our best leaders by not having primaries. We end up not getting our best ideas in the state house by not having primaries. And I'm just saying, I feel like I have the energy, I have new ideas, I have my youthful looks to, go into Des Moines and maybe try some things that are a little bit different than what we've been seeing. It is one thing to represent your community with your full heart, and it is another thing to finally get a challenge from somebody and start revving up the social machine and start doing all the things that you're supposed to do. Why aren't we just doing that from day one? And that's calling out Republicans, that's calling out Democrats, that's calling out everybody. I'm tired of the same old, same old. I'm tired of being in the minority for 10 years because we can't communicate to Iowans and give them a vision of what we can achieve. That is why I'm running for the future of Iowa because I'm going to be here in 10, 20, 30, 40 years. This is my state. My vision of what I want to do is go to Des Moines, shake some shit up, make some change, and then sit on my porch in my retirement and hopefully have a retirement and enjoy the thought of, wow, I actually made a change in the state that I love so dearly. And I didn't move away. I stayed put and made sure that we got this done.
Yes, I love that answer. I think it is. We actually, I think it was either earlier today or yesterday, Layla and I were talking that it is really sad that there is a need for something like insufferable wenches, right? It's sad that there is a need for somebody to put legislation on social media and be like, hey, pay attention to this crazy pants nonsense that's happening here. Like, go to the subcommittee, go, call your reps, do the things, public comments, all of the things. It's really, and I am, I get mad and sometimes I rage post on insufferable wenches. It happens very often. So if there's a ragey post, 99% of the time it came from me. Um, and I had commented and I said, why right now in this moment where we have, another anti-DEI bill, another abortion ban bill, and now we're talking about getting rid of no-fault divorce. Like, why are our reps, the people that represent us, not talking about this? Why are they not making a big fuss about this? We're seeing these things come out and I'm reading through legislation every day. And I don't see any of the people that actually represent us doing that. And we've had people tell us that they went to their local town hall or their whatever chat session with their rep and they've asked about specific bills. And the rep's response is, oh, I haven't read that yet. What? And I will not, and I mean this with my whole chest, I do not give grace for, well, there's so many bills to read through. Girl, I know. I'm doing it every day. Like, be so for real
And
right now.
you have a separate job. It's not like your job is to read the
Yes.
bills.
Yes. I have
What
a
do you mean?
whole, real job that I go to make a paycheck. And I, obviously do this in my spare time.
A,
So
a, wait, you have a job? So wait, so most of our reps are retired. Wow, and they don't have time to read the bills? Huh,
crazy. Isn't that
crazy how
nuts?
that works.
I know. All right, I will go on and rant forever. So, next question. Do you plan to take corporate PAC money and will you vow not to while you're in office?
No corporate PAC money ever. We do love the advocacy PACs that
Yes.
we want that money. So
Hmm.
hey, if you want to send that to me, I would love it. Haven't seen any yet, but yeah, no corporate PAC money.
Perfect. Yes, we big fans of advocacy PACs. Would be one if we had any money, but we don't. And then do you have a favorite political TikToker, podcaster? We try to stay away from like the traditional media sources because we know everybody loves NPR and everybody loves Iowa Public Radio. So we're looking for a little more outside of the scope. We're building our
Yeah.
own bank.
So to be honest, I stay away from TikTok as much as possible.
That's valid. It's my biggest
I
time suck.
I know how addicted I could become to it.
Mhm.
So the only time I am on it is if I am creating a video or about to post something. So I do listen to podcasts, but recently I have taken a little bit of a time off from that because I do love political podcasts. Obviously, any of the Pod Save podcast franchise, they have multiple. I used to listen to all of them. But for my own sanity and for my mental health, I'm like, I can't listen to that right now. So I've been listening to like Moth Radio, which I know is NPR. Like I know it's through that pipeline, but I love storytelling. So Moth Radio, Spooked, which is like a fun, true ghost story podcast that tells ghost stories brilliantly. So yeah, Pod Save when I do listen to politics, but other than that, I'm trying to stay away from it right now because our life is inundated with politics.
Yes. And I think like with that, there a lot of the podcasts, political TikTokers, political influencers, all of the things in that lane are always focused on national politics. And we have this mindset that, listen, we clearly don't like Donald Trump. I think that's, a given. But we also know that we are stuck with him right now. And there's not a whole lot that we can do to change that other than to be very, very involved in our state politics, which are what forms the ability for him to be there, right? So it's hard because I'm like, I like short stories that I zero attention span whatsoever. So I like the short stories and things so I can know what's going on in the world, but at the same time, does not it doesn't do much for my mental health to be neck deep in especially national politics all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So that's a good answer. Also, I like spooky stuff, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah,
Layla,
spook.
next question's yours.
Perfect timing. I just got my cord plugged into my computer because it was starting to die. Okay. If you look at the legislature as if it's like college, where you pick a major and you pick a minor, what are you majoring? What are you minoring in?
Okay. I would definitely major in communications because as I've already stated, I feel like the national Democrats and I feel like our state Democrats have a communication problem. And I feel like we need to be communicating better. We need to be communicating with new, fresh ideas that aren't the same old that keeps losing us elections. I just feel like that is something that we need to do. And then I have to stay true. I have to stay true to who I am. I would minor in music because I believe that the arts form a better humanity. And I want that to be a part of my life. It is a part of my life. November through March, I'm traveling across the country, working with high school show choirs. I get to work with kids who sing and dance and make beautiful art and stories. And it is the most fulfilling thing that I do in my year. And it keeps me sane. And I believe that that is so important. And then also, like, I would definitely, if I was at this fictional college, I would get a job in the cafeteria because I love food. I love sitting around food and talking with people. So, the end.
I like that answer. It's different than the others, which was exciting. I think this is gonna sound so mean,
Go for it.
but I would argue that places that don't value the arts are always turned conservative. It's like you don't see like the beauty of humanity. I think the arts are a reflection on how beautiful people can be. And when that disappears, people become jaded and rugged and they stop caring so much for others and it turns into a MAGA hellscape.
I I don't
Take.
think that's not a hot take. I agree with that completely. And I believe that conversation is the key to where we want to go as a state and a nation. And some of the easiest conversations can start with, "Hey, what's your favorite song? Like, what's your favorite, movie? Like, let's talk about something that we both can agree on, and then let's work our way into some of the bigger issues. I think so many people are all about the like, oh, let's knock a door and be like, all right, I need you to vote for me. Like, what do you care? Like, we've got to do better to like meet people where they're at. And I hopefully am exhibiting that in my own campaign. I plan on doing more of that, more community events that don't really focus so much on what I need from you. It's just like, hey, can we gather and eat pie together? Like, can we just get back to the table?
Yeah. Community, like strong community is one of the kind of enemies of fascism. Um,
100%.
it's much easy it's much easier for like areas to fall under like fascism takeovers because that has happened before Trump in the US. And it's places like where I live, where there isn't a ton of strong community. So 100%. What are some ways that you're active in your community?
Oh, well, so many. First off, Nest Cafe. It is one of my favorite things to talk about. We have this incredible restaurant in the Quad Cities called Nest Cafe. It is a pay what you can restaurant, and it serves healthy food from area farms within a 40-mile radius. They do pay what you can food. They have volunteer shifts where I go in almost every week. I am cutting up veggies for 2 hours straight. There are volunteer shifts where you can serve the food, where you can prep the dining room, get all the silverware ready, cleaning, all this stuff. It is an incredible nonprofit that not a lot of I've never heard of anything like it around here. It is one of my passion projects. It has literally just, it's one of my favorite things. So that's one of my main volunteering areas that I do. And I'm just like a huge Nest Cafe
That is
proponent.
so cool. I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
amazing.
like, I'm mad that somebody came up with that before me. Like, I'm jealous of that. Yeah.
Literally, I have thought so many times, I just need to quit all my jobs and like create one because it's technically on the Illinois side of the Quad Cities. I want one on the Iowa side. I'm like, I'll create the Iowa version. Let's go. Maybe I'll do that after a few terms in the state house. But yeah, that's one things that is like my main go-to. And like I said earlier, I used to work at this amazing nonprofit LGBTQ community center. I stepped down from that work to run. So now I'm volunteering over there. I like to call myself the substitute teacher because sometimes I'll go over and host the high school group and see all the kids that I used to see all the time. They constantly are doing fundraisers. I'm constantly helping still with those. I am, of course, in tune with my Scott County Democrats doing the work on the ground. We have this incredible group of humans in the Visibility Brigade that are showing up, with signs, protesting. They are constantly holding these like, hey, are you pissed off right now? Come join us and just hold a sign for an hour. It shows people that people care. And literally every single time I go, the group gets bigger and bigger and bigger. They just had like 600 people show up for the latest protest. And it was through the Visibility Brigade of the QC. I mean, it was incredible. So I'm trying to plug into that as much as I can. And then also, you got to have a fun little outlet too. And there's this amazing concert venue bar called the Raccoon Motel. First of all, it's like the most affirming, LGBTQ welcoming space. They have amazing musicians come through. When it opened up a few years ago, they had Orville Peck, who is insanely talented and amazing. He opened the entire place for 3 days over the weekend, or 3 shows over the weekend. Anyways, they have bingo every single Monday, free bingo. Everybody come, y'all, come play bingo. I call bingo every once in a while. They host charity nights, so I'll come and call for those. So those are just a few of the things that I do in my community. But there's like other random stuff. There's this incredible place called Family Resources. I just did a homeless immersion experience this past fall and learned what it actually does for the Quad Cities. And again, our agencies are holding our country together right now. And so shout out to Family Resources. When I had my launch party for the campaign, we got resources for Family Resources. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a whole bunch of other stuff I want to do. The project of the Quad Cities is also an LGBTQ space that I've volunteered with before. So yeah, just all the things.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I love when people can't shut up about, not that you should have shut up,
No,
but like I love when people can't shut up about what they do.
like
Because
go ahead.
yeah, if you're not, if you have no answer to that, why are you running for office? What business do you have? Yeah.
And if it's not more than one thing, it's like, okay, like one thing's good, but like there's a lot of stuff that we can be putting ourselves into. That is also why I'm so excited about right now. I don't lose hope with what's happening in our country because more and more people are doing the community work. They're stepping up, they're getting involved in more things. Like the Scott County Democrats a year ago didn't have half the amount of people coming to meetings. We have grown so much because people care. So, like, we're not going down. We're not going down without a fight. And at the end of the day, we're going to win. It's just going to take a lot of energy, a lot of persistence, and a lot of investing in our communities.
100%. Yeah. When I find myself like, oh my gosh, we're so cooked, which I hardly say anymore, I just look at the kids. What are the kids doing? I just saw so many walkouts at different high schools protesting ICE.
The
It
kids all right. They are totally fine. Like I got messages from students at Davenport Central asking me for advice, just like how do we do this safely? I'm like, y'all, I am so proud of you for even like thinking of doing this. And this is happening statewide, just like you said, Layla. Um, this past weekend, I was judging show choir in Sioux Center, which is like Randy Feenstra land, which is gross in itself. But this small little show choir got on stage, and I recognized one of the kids because they had driven 2 hours from their small town in the middle of nowhere, Iowa, to Des Moines on the day of Renee Hardman's election to volunteer and phone bank. I was like, I know him. I know them.
Oh
It
my God,
was,
that makes me so happy. I
yeah.
love it so much. We get
the
asked
kids
all
are
the time, like, how do we get young people involved? How do we get young people involved?
they
And
are.
they are involved. They're already knowledgeable. They already know what's going on. They're already pissed. It's just that when they try to get actively involved, they're told to sit down and wait their turn. And we have to stop telling these kids that they have to wait their turn or that they need to do their time. Their time is now,
Yeah. Well, and
and
let's
they're
be
showing
honest.
it.
I know that firsthand because I have heard from a few people to wait my turn, and it's like I am 37 years old. I am not super young anymore. Like, when is my time? Like,
Mhm.
I love my community. I'm going to be here for, I hope, my life. But like, if I don't feel represented, what am I supposed to do? Also, when we are talking about how we get youth involved. And again, I'm gonna just say this, and I don't care if I catch flack for it. Sometimes our local Democratic parties are not, they're saying they want youth involved, but we hold the meetings at times when young families can't come. We don't have childcare. So like how are we actually getting people to come? I just spoke at the Dallas County or Southeast Dallas County Democrats and they have childcare at their meeting and I was like, this isn't rocket science. Like this is
No.
great. Thank you for doing this. And their room reflects a younger demographic because they have that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting
Layla's still there. I know.
Yes.
We have
I'm
that
like,
effect on
I
people. I
just
don't
sat
know.
in silence for a second and I was like, oh God, I'm like worked. Wow.
All right. This is probably the most controversial question. Um, Cats or dogs and why?
So as you've seen through this webisode already, I have a beautiful one-eyed menace boy. His name is Herbert Hoover. Come here. Yeah, he hears this name. He's like, I gotta come back. Yeah. So this is Herbert Hoover. He is my first pet in life. I was a very unfortunate child to have parents that wanted no pets.
Mhm.
And up until the age of 2 years ago, I would have said that I was a dog person. But now I have a cat that is pretty much a dog. Um, he is just the most adorable, like non-cat cat you'll ever meet in life. And I love him. So yeah, I guess I'm a cat person, but honestly, I would love to have a dog, but this cat that acts like a dog is perfect.
I'm a cat person because I have dogs. I've had both. We still have three dogs. We love them dearly, but it makes me more of a cat person every day.
Yeah,
You're a
he
lot.
is just the
He
most
is
precious.
precious.
Yeah,
Adorable.
he
I
I
want to
adopted
eat.
I adopted him from Spencer, Iowa. I drove 5 hours to
Oh,
get him
wow.
because I saw his precious face. When I got there on the Sunday to meet him, the volunteers at the shelter were cleaning out cages. So there was just like 10 cats and 7 dogs just all running around together. And I was like, I'm here to meet this cat, which, spoiler alert, Herbert Hoover isn't the original name. I named him Herbert Hoover. He does have a dead name, which we won't talk about. But I said, I'm here to meet this cat. They said he's in the corner. I go up to Herbert Hoover. I pick him up. He hopped right on my shoulder and sat there for 10 minutes. And I was like,
It's game
this is my
over.
this is my cat.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love
Herbert Hoover chose you
He
as
did.
his human.
He did.
it
All
was the
right.
distribution system, the cat distribution system.
Yeah. All right. What are your top priorities that don't include healthcare, water quality, or education?
Okay, so I know other candidates have already said this, and I just agree a million times over. Minimum wage has to go up. And I agree with what some of the other candidates have said too. At least minimum, it has to be 15, but like, let's talk about 20. That is one of them. But also, I've said this before too. What the hell are we thinking on Herbert Hoover? Calm down. Okay, he's getting excited now. Um, what the hell are we thinking on cannabis? Like, you can't tell me that we are just like okay with all of our Iowans going to our bordering states, spending money. Like, this is a no-brainer. And our new leader of the House, Bobby Buttercup Kaufman, who is, yeah, literally, I grew up to the county to the right of him in Scott County. He's in Cedar, and represents there now for way too long. But anyways, he was quoted in 2018 basically saying like, yeah, I'm essentially almost pro legalized cannabis. And I'm like, okay, it's 2026 now. Where is that? Like, let's work together on like bipartisanship. This is an easy win for you guys.
Yeah.
Like, let's figure this out so we can get this money coming to Iowa and helping Iowans. It's stupid that we haven't done this.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
All right. Do you support the private school voucher program?
Oh, you're just, I'm gonna have to take some blood pressure medicine after this. No, I don't support the voucher scheme. I am not surprised that we would do something like that in a state that really apparently doesn't care about public education anymore. I am just like baffled how Republicans and I should say this, not not all Republicans. I'm surprised by Iowans who don't care that we are just wasting money and have no oversight over it. That we're gonna spend, I mean, they quoted like $1 billion for 10 years. It's gonna be way more than that because we've already spent 350 million in 2 years. So I just don't understand how anyone can just be like, "Yep, this is great," and we continue to build new private schools are popping up every day. They don't have the same regulation. They don't have to accept any student that they don't want to. That includes LGBTQ plus students. That um, also includes people that might have disabilities. Like, it's wild to me. Public dollars for public schools.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still don't know what
I
we'll
hate
do
that.
if anybody ever gets on here and says, "Well, yeah, I
Uh,
genuinely don't know how long." Like, I think I'll just end it. I think
I
I'll
we
just
have
hang
to have
up
one.
immediately.
I
Well,
I
we've
don't
had
even get the like I don't even get the like, oh, but like I do, and it's like,
Mm-mm.
y'all,
I literally went,
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We've
huh?
had we've had people that are like, "Well, we can work with the program and get oversight and things like that." Like we've had those answers and I can barely tolerate that. But if somebody came on here and was like, "Oh, I think the voucher program's great. Oh, it's giving all these kids opportunities." I would throw my laptop. I don't even I would be so mean. The world would see me
I
crash
think
out.
some of those people who are saying those answers understand that changing it is going to take a lot because
Uh-huh.
obviously we are in the minority by a lot.
Yeah.
So saying that they are going to work with it and try to reform, I get that, but fundamentally it stinks, and Iowans know that.
Yeah, absolutely. Layla's really good about going for the clarification on that one. She's very, very good at that. We love her.
Yeah. I know I don't have to ask this time, but usually I'm like, okay, so there's a little beef with Democrats. It's either you're working with it or you want it gone. What is your end goal?
Yeah.
Mine's get rid of it.
Goodbye. See ya.
Bye.
Mhm.
All right. If you could pass legislation on a petty grievance, what would it be and why?
Uh, so, um, you know, petty grievance. So I remember what I was going to say now. I feel like if your school has some sort of sports team, it also needs to support some sort of arts kind of thing. So that's my like petty grievance of like, if we are going to champion the sports side of things, we also need to be championing this. So we need to find the funds for that. Um,
Yes.
yeah.
100%. Or split the funds. You can't afford it? Looks like some money's getting taken out of football.
Well, and there are some weird things. As someone who works with high school show choirs,
Mhm.
there's a lot of school districts that will just let the show choirs have their own booster group, which is great because they get to keep their funds and put that money to where it's supposed to go.
Mhm.
But there are still Iowa school districts, and I know of them because I work with these groups, where they are using activities funds from show choir competitions fees to fund sports, which is like, nah, that's not okay.
No. Yeah.
Drives me nuts.
I went to a school that didn't fund any sort of art.
Mm-mm.
So I appreciate that answer.
Um,
Um, oh, Mom, it's you.
Oh, shoot.
We're on number 12.
Oh, there
I'll
we go.
highlight it.
Okay. So, what would you consider valid experience for somebody that's running for Iowa House or Iowa Senate?
Honestly, like we need people who are in our communities, which means we need so many different perspectives and backgrounds, and it needs to be everybody and anybody. So, yeah, I want young people. I want people of different jobs. Like we have the same old up there, retired people, lots of farmers, lots of
Mhm.
men. Um, we need everyone. So, like, if you have an interest in your community and an interest in making your state better, run for it. Do it.
Absolutely.
That's the qualification that you care about human beings and that you want to make things better. The end.
Yes. Perfect. Um, so campaigning can be exhausting. And politics is exhausting pretty much all the time. What keeps you going?
I am blessed to have, again, so many reasons to keep going. My community. It is the most amazing support system of human beings that are constantly just wrapping me up in their arms and making sure they know or that I know that they support me. So that's number one. Number two, truly working with the youth. like working with people at Clock Inc., working with show criers across the state, across the Midwest, and other places in the country, seeing that even though this time in our history is wackadoodle, I mean, we have never faced anything like this, that they still find the resolve in themselves to show up and show who they are and say, we don't care. We're gonna keep moving forward. Um, yeah, and then also just like the activists across our state, people like Layla, people like India, people across the state that are literally being like, we're not waiting around for somebody else. We have to create our own thing to make sure that we're making the change. That's what keeps me going. Like truly just keeps me going.
Yeah. I like that answer. And I think it's valid. I think I struggle with it, I think more than Layla does. But she's a fairly hopeful person who doesn't do the we're cooked um kind of mindset. I, on the other hand, am not. I'm a bit of a drama queen. So sometimes I get real down in the dumps, especially with, especially with that legislative session is going to be the death of me. It is going to be my 13th reason. But I think it's really cool because anytime I get in this place where I'm like, this is awful, like I don't know what else to do. I'm so pissed about some of these bills that are just atrocious. And then I see Donald Trump make a video of, Obama and his wife, and it's friggin' horrifying. And I get so, so, so upset. And then I see a massive amount of high school kids do a walkout.
Yeah.
And I hear my 16-year-old son talk about, how all of this is disgusting. And that makes me feel better. All of
Yeah.
those things make me feel better. So I think like the youth is definitely, and the candidates. I'm so excited about so many candidates this year. Like there are so many that were like, I've never been super active in politics, but this shit sucks. So I'm gonna run because nobody better than me is.
We have never seen this level of activation with candidates in, I mean, my lifetime.
Right?
It's so exciting to see who they are, how we're talking to people, how we're connecting with people. Like, I am excited. Like, I'm excited to do this. And I know what I'm doing isn't always popular in Democratic circles. Let's just be honest. Like,
Yeah.
oh, God forbid you challenge an incumbent. Well, I'm just, again, giving another option to people, which
Yep.
is what we should have is options. Um,
100%.
I would not be doing this if other people were not doing it before me. So I was inspired, and now I'm getting the messages from people across the state being like, dude, thank you for stepping up. And like, I'm like, I'm just doing what I feel like is right, and I've been inspired to do the same.
That's awesome. Okay, so next two questions we hear are kind of hard. I don't know. So what is your hottest take? Now, to be clear, we don't think they're hard. I don't think they're hard, but also I talk
I,
smack online all the time. That's kind of what I do. So I have
I
lots
don't
of hot takes.
Yeah, I don't really think this is hard. So my hottest take is this like political minded or like just in general?
Um, I don't know. I don't think we've Layla.
Either way. Sorry, I
Yeah,
didn't
either
realize I was.
way.
I,
Yeah,
I'm
either way, both.
I'm just gonna take it the political route because we are doing this thing. So FDR's New Deal was essentially socialism.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
what we need in our country right now is a New Deal. Like, we need something that's going to talk about how we can provide childcare,
Mhm.
healthcare for everybody, healthcare for all, Medicare for all. We need to be having these conversations, and what the right likes to call socialism and, scare us with Zoran Mamdani, like
So terrifying.
that is
So
that is
scary.
yeah, that is the type of like really big picture ideas that we need right now.
Yeah.
And that is hard to do at a state level,
Mhm.
but we do have um a well, I should say it's hard to do at a state level when you have only 33 Democrats and you are in the minority, but hopefully we are going to change that so we can message with some big picture ideas, but also in 2028 we are going to have a presidential election, which means we need to be selecting someone that has an eye not on the next 4 years, but the next 40. And we need
Yes.
someone that has a big picture, and that might be Pete Buttigieg, that might be JB Pritzker, it might just be AOC. And whoever has that picture and saying, like, hey, maybe Washington, D.C. should be our 51st state, and we're going to make sure that gets done. Like,
That needs to be done.
even
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
let's go. Let's think big. Let's picture this and give this to the American people and be like, here's something to vote for.
Yep. That I think that's the thing. I think we, for a long time, and Layla's talked about this like ad nauseum, but it's been a really long time since people leaning left, right? Not even like the most lefty left people, but anybody who leans left of center hasn't really had anything to vote for. Just
No, because voting
constantly.
Democrat is just seen as a preventative measure. Like, oh, let's
Yes.
prevent from the Republicans.
Yep.
Why is it that? Why are we constantly playing defense?
Yeah, it's time we play some offense and put some people in there that have good ideas and want to do genuine change and aren't maybe worried about the big paychecks that are coming in.
Well, and we got kind of something in 2024 when we were kind of talking about infrastructure a lot, which is we do need great infrastructure investment across this country. That is something big picture. But
Mhm.
like if that's all we're talking about, like come on, like let's add more.
Yeah, because I care a lot less about infrastructure than I do about healthcare,
Yeah.
or my rights as a woman to have bodily autonomy or to divorce, my husband. I don't have one of those, thank God. But, you know, I think like there are at some point we have to recognize too that not like stop calling them culture war issues. I hate that term so much. I think I've said this before on here that I think referring to these topics as culture war issues is really dismissive of the people that are affected by them, right? So I think it's dismissive to the trans community to call it a culture war issue that we've rolled back civil rights for them. I think it's dismissive to women that we call it abortion a culture war issue. It's not a culture war. These are people's lives,
These
right?
are our lives.
These
You're
are
talking
our
about
lives.
our lives. Yeah.
Yes. So I hate the term culture war, but at this point, what else do you call it? I guess because that's just the term we've been dealt. But I think that
The
if
mental issue.
mental issue somewhere.
The mental. Like, I think that's
Yeah.
technically what they are. Like,
Yeah. I think that if we started focusing on how to help people instead of how to control and hurt them, it'd be a really good start, right? Gosh. Anyways, next question is what is your wokest take?
Wokest take. I mean, it sort of is my last one as well. Wokest take. Oh,
No.
God, what have other people said as well?
Oh my
I can
God.
give my example.
Yeah, give your
My
example, Layla.
example is that the right and people who don't understand what socialism is will say that socialism breeds laziness. And my argument is that the laziness already exists. Two ways. Billionaires don't fucking work. They don't work. They are the laziest scum of the earth. Alongside that, people are lazy. And not because they choose to be lazy, but because they're like pushed to the brunt of working all the time and constantly worried about money, that they don't want to do anything that they themselves would deem productive. So they're automatically less energized and less motivated to achieve things that they want to achieve because stress and money and all
Yeah,
of that.
it's hard to have a hobby when you're constantly worried about paying the bills. And hobbies make people happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I suppose my wokest take then is kind of in line with that. The fact that billionaires are making money off the backs of hardworking Americans and basically don't have to pay a dime for it. And that we need to literally tax the rich.
Tax the damn rich. What are we doing?
What are we doing? Like they've made billions and billions of dollars that they will never be able to even use in their lifetime.
Also,
and yet
that's disgusting.
we are struggling to get by. Like let's just talk about this for 1 second.
Yeah.
I am lucky enough to have just purchased my first home. Now, I've already heard from multiple of my future constituents, and also people running for office who are literally like, this is not going to be a reality in my lifetime. And I feel very blessed and lucky that I was able to do it. But here's the reality of how I was able to do this. First of all, I don't have kids. I don't have to save money to put food on the table, to make sure that they're clothed, make sure that they have healthcare, make sure they go to the right schools. I get to keep that money. So I've been trying to save and save and save. And then here's the other really sad and disgusting reality of it. My biological father passed away of a very aggressive cancer. When he died 2 years ago, he left me his truck. I sold his truck and put it on as a down payment for this house. The only reason I was able to do that is because he died of cancer that was probably caused by what? By the dirty water that this area has.
Yes.
So like, while I lucked out and got to make this a reality, this was never in my mind 3 years ago. This was never a reality. And now it is. And guess what? I bought a house that has extra rooms and I'm renting them out so I can pay my mortgage. Like, not everyone has this reality, and it's crazy. It's crazy that we are not able to save enough money to put away for a house. And the only reason I could is all of this weird random stuff that you don't want happening to you.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's even more disgusting that your scenario is deemed a lucky one.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. The fact that I
crazy.
say I'm lucky my dad died and left me a truck and I sold it and put it down as a down payment. Like it's baffling. It's why I'm running. I want to represent and try and change this, whatever we got going on.
Yeah. Absolutely. That was a really good answer, by the way. Let's see. Oh, rapid fire. Okay. It's rapid fire. It's not really rapid fire. It's 2 questions. And we already know your answers. Are you pro-choice?
Hell yeah.
Thank you very much. Are you pro LGBTQ plus rights, specifically trans rights?
Trans rights are human rights.
Amazing.
Yes.
Fabulous. Now, I can say if anybody answers no to either of those, I'm not even going to throw the computer. I'm going to yell so loud. Okay, so last 2 questions. We're on the downhill slide. Has it been terrifying and awful?
No, this has been awesome. I could literally sit here and talk all night long, but we got to catch Bad Bunny.
It's true. Okay, why should your constituents vote for you?
The choice is simple. You are choosing someone that wants to represent the future of Iowa, to work for the future of Iowa, not just the next 2 years, but the next 40 years. We deserve someone who's going to treat this, unfortunately, part-time job as a full-time job every single day, doing the work in the community, and also, to be honest, across the state. My district is liberal, is blue. When I win the primary, I'm not just going to be focused on turning out votes here in Scott County. I'm going to be going shoulder to shoulder with people that we need to flip their districts to make sure that we get back into the majority. Because no matter what happens in 2026, we might see some really great results. But in Iowa, because we are at that 33 mark, like the biggest swing that we've seen in the last 20 years is 10 seats, and still we were not in the majority. It's going to take a lot of work, and it might take not just the next 2 years, not just the next 4 years. It's a long-term thing. You're voting on someone that has that as top of mind issue.
I love that. I love that. And you are absolutely the first person to say that. You are absolutely the first candidate that said, I don't want to just win this district. I want to help other districts and I want to make big change. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Okay. Last question. Share your socials, your website, all of the things, how people get in contact with you, and then tell us what your big ask is.
Okay. So my socials, Adam Peters for Iowa on Facebook. Adam for Iowa on Instagram. You can also follow my personal Instagram, Adam Peters. My website is www.adamforiowa.com. I don't think people say www anymore, but again, I'm a boomer at heart. No, just kidding. Yeah, so those are all my socials. My big ask is honestly, I know a lot of people said, yeah, donate to me. Of course, we all want money. Donate, sure. My big ask is get involved in your community in a new way that you haven't done before. It takes everyone to make the change, but also we need to just be investing in new ways. And I want people to feel like they should invest in new ways that they haven't before. We all are doing stuff, but we can do more. We can do more. And also on the same side of that, if you feel like you can't do more, find someone else that you can invite into the fold to also do more. I'm just super inspired by what Michelle Obama said at the DNC. Do something. That has been my North Star. I know that that's what y'all are doing. You're doing something with this podcast. India May is doing something by going on Facebook and saying, hey, we need to find candidates for 30 more districts. Let's go. Let's find people. We have people that are doing something all the time. So all I'm saying is do something and do more. That's the big ask.
That's an easy ask. No big deal.
Yeah.
Easy stuff.
Perfect. Okay. That's it. You're free. You can go watch Bad Bunny.
I'm going to watch Bad Bunny and pet Herbert Hoover.
We want to know who he's going to bring out. We were thinking about it earlier because usually there's a guest, there's a special guest that they bring out and we're like, who's it going to be? Because it could be anyone, right?
Who do you think it's going to be?
I don't know.
I think it could be Cardi B.
Oh, which would be very interesting with the whole Nicki Minaj situation happening recently.
That would be perfect.
That'd be great.
Amazing. Okay, you have the best night. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This has been just so much fun.
Yay! All right, we will talk soon. We'll keep up with you.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Bye.
Gonna make you wonder why you even try. Hard times.